What's up, everybody? I think I'm gonna name this Sunnyvale because I don't know if you guys know, but I lived freaking everywhere within like the valley, the Bay Area. I'm in San Jose, California. That's where I talked about like the first part of my story. The second part of my story is basically I lived in Sunnyvale, California, and in the Bay Area. And this part, I remember being with my dad. On the first part I was talking to you guys about, I didn't remember my dad or my mom, you know, living with my dad and my stepmom, garage. Again, in a garage, big garage, and it was at my stepmom's family, so her dad and her mom. Her brother lived there, her brother's girlfriend at the time, and I believe their daughter lived there too. So yeah, I remember my dad and my stepmom, they had a waterbed. I don't know if you guys don't know about waterbeds, but there was water literally inside of the bed. This part I remember my dad and my stepmom. I had my first boyfriend there for it. I think I just like went along with it and was like, whatever, you know. Yeah, so again, I remember just being a kid out there with my stepsister and their cousins, and when they would come over and stuff like that, and being outdoors, was really involved with us and share and help her cook. We would help like wash the dishes, and that's probably where I like learned most of this stuff. And as time goes on, I learned it from other people, but more of the, I guess, disciplinary person than my dad. When we were growing up, I remember me and my sister and my brother really didn't like her that much. I mean, who likes their step parents, right? But I'm grateful for it now. It taught me a lot. She was a Jehovah's Witness, so I remember going to like Jehovah's Witness classes, and it's crazy because my grandma was Catholic, right? You grow up in a Mexican family, and then half the time they're Catholic. My was Jehovah's Witness, and my mom was Christian. As I got older, I found my own way, my own path, and what I believed in. But so just growing up there, just being outdoors, around with other kiddos, and hanging around with my stepsister, all our friends in the front yard, or we would go bike riding around the house, around, you know, just being kids. I remember this one time with me, my stepsister, I believe she was there, and a couple of our friends. We had a sleepover at one of our friends' house. Back then, I remember always watching, I don't even think it was a show. I think it was, I'm thinking the Blair Witch Project, but that's what it was called. I don't remember. People, like, they recorded themselves and they went out to the woods, and they would end up dying or something. I barely remember. But anyways, I remember going to our friend's house, and I believe she had a Ouija board. Mind you, I think I was like only like 9 or 10. I remember her putting it out, and then ground on my back. And I don't know what they were doing, but they were around me, and then I ended up like levitating off of the ground. Pretty freaky. And I remember in the room, and were on us, and we were like freaking out. But yeah, that was pretty trippy. It's crazy how we remember like only glimpses and pieces of like our memory, and only when you want to remember it, you remember it. You know, I think sometimes we choose to put things at the back of our mind. But yeah, so that was pretty trippy. I feel like in that time and space when I did that, I feel like I led it in my life, because a lot of things happened. And I feel like that always like went along, not that long ago, but I feel have stayed with me, I guess you can say. And I've learned to embrace the good and the love and the happy, you know, because we don't really realize the things that sometimes we do as when we're young, or some things that happen to us. There's certain things that get attached to us in the spiritual realm. But I remember this one time, they would come up on my bunk bed and trying to, you know, do a little something. And I really didn't know. Like, as a kid, you know, but you don't know. But they would try to do a little something, something. And I'm like, no, like, leave me alone. This is where it's all beginning. And it started when I was little. But nothing really happened then. And I was walking up, going to the room. The door was locked. This is when my dad was in there. I remember hearing my dad and my stepmom having sex. It traumatized me, you guys. It traumatized me really bad. So the door had like glass, but on the glass there was, I believe it was newspaper to cover looking in. And you can like see their feet and stuff moving, and you just know that they're doing the do. Kind of messed me up, like inside, like internally, and because it brings more like curiosity to you, like what are they doing, like what's going on, is she getting hurt? That's where a lot more like curiosity started to happen, and just remember having this like sinking feeling. But I remember catching my stepsister and my sister smoking weed one time. What are they doing? And I would always me and my stepsister would always pick on my brother. Poor thing. He was the only boy. It was me, my sister, and I hardly don't remember my sister that much living there with me. I remember more of my brother because my sister moved with my mom before. I remember the kids calling me L'Oreal because back then they had like the L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner and stuff like that, or the shampoo and conditioner mixed together, and we would see commercials on it. I remember role playing Jerry Springer because Jerry Springer was out then with my stepsister and my brother and all their cousins, and we would be messing around with each other. We were always picking on my brother, and I think that's the thing that you do when you're kids, and when you're all girls and you have one only boy, you like pick on him, and I think that's what girls do. We ended up moving to another house. My dad was renting a home with my stepmom. And schools again. That's 3 schools already, you guys. Ended up switching schools again. And this time I remember like my mom being a little bit more involved and living in this house. Me and my stepsister, I believe we had our own room. My brother had his own room. I don't remember him being with us, but I remember one time my sister wanted to walk me to school. My stepmom got so mad, didn't want to let her walk me to school. She didn't want to let her walk me to school. My sister was getting upset, and my sister's like 3 or 4 years older than me. I think my stepmom ended up calling the cops on her, if I'm not mistaken. I really don't remember. I just remember her getting really mad at my sister, and my sister being really upset because she didn't want to let her walk with me to school. I remember my mom coming to school one time with me, going to school and with us, and because I think as a kid, I remember being as a kid, all I wanted was my mom and dad together. That's all I really wanted. And what's going on, or why, and once you get to a certain age, you start to ask more questions. I didn't understand why. I didn't know what was going on, but I remember my mom being there, and but yeah, there's more to all of this, you guys, but I'm trying to remember just spurts of moments because I was really young. I think the more I get into everything, it'll be a lot more easier. So, yeah, I thank you guys for watching and listening and coming along this journey with me. I'm gonna do my best to, and things start to happen after this. Once I'll tell you guys later, to heal, and that you guys get the courage to face the things that you guys have gone through, because I think that's one thing that we do, is we choose to put certain things in the back of our mind instead of facing it, and instead of coming to amends with it and forgiving everything that has happened. If you forgot about it, if you've let it go already, there's no reason to even go back to it. I just feel like me telling my story will help some people.